Well, now that we have our trading HTML site finished and we know how our layout of our trading site looks like, we can go right on and implement the functions in our app.js file. And if you remember back in our trading HTML site, on the very bottom, we have this event listener that fires on load of the page, and it's calling app and the function init trading. And if we go to this function, then we find that it's initializing our basic UI. So it's refreshing the balance exchange, which we have implemented in previous sections. It's printing important information, which is not doing much, just showing us the addresses of the exchange contract, the address of the token contract, and the balance of our accounts. And it's updating the order books. This is something that we want to implement in the next lectures, but in this lecture we want to listen to trading events. And I've already prepared something to listen to the trading events, and I will go with you through this step by step. The first thing that we want to do is we want to get the actual instance of our exchange contract, right? And that is fairly easy and straightforward, and we have done that multiple times. Let me close this here. So we have now the exchange instance. And then we want to listen to specific events. And here we are talking about all the events that our exchange is emitting when we are creating new orders. So we have the limit sell order created, the sell order fulfilled, sell order cancelled, the limit buy order created, the buy order fulfilled, and the buy order cancelled events. And this is the events that we want to listen to. So for example, if you're talking about this limit sell order created, then we want to watch for updates on these events. And it is fairly straightforward, even though it's a lot of code. And it's, as you remember back from the events section where we had the specific events breakout, to demo you how you can listen to specific events, we call the exchange instance and then the event name. And then we could give it some search parameters for specific arguments of the event. So for example, if we have an index symbol name, index symbol index, then or index address, then we could search for those. If we just type in who is a specific address, then it will just output us those events from this address. But we want to search for all of those. So we want to watch for changes, and the watch function is an arrow first function, and the result is the actual event. And then again, this is pure HTML, which we are creating programmatically. And what we're going to do is we add the event name as a title element, and then we are just JSON stringifying the arguments of this event. So we see if events are fired on our site panel, that we see those events that are fired. And I'm going to do this with all of the events now. And we have the limit sell order created. We have now also a limit buy order created. We have a sell order fulfilled. And we have a buy order fulfilled. And obviously, I mean, the code is always exactly the same. We could just call another function, which we write somewhere else, but I've just basically copy and pasted the inside of our watch function. So that's always the same. It will show us the event and it will JSON stringify the arguments. And the reason why I have that is because I like to look at those during development, or I like to work with my events in a way that I can see what is going on without having to open the console or something else. So obviously, if you have like an order book change, you might want to show the change to the user. You might want to have like a log trail or something to the user. But if you are developing a high-end UI, super designed app, you might just don't want to show this to the user. So that really depends on your use case. In our use case, it's an exchange for developers. You definitely want to show those events. Okay, now the last thing that I want to do is I want to catch if we cannot get the exchange instance. So let's remove this. So I would just wanna catch here if we cannot get the exchange instance, that it outputs us an error. And that's pretty it. Now we can listen to the trading events. As soon as we start our trading HTML site, our exchange contract we get an instance of our exchange contract, and we watch all of our events for change.